Hello YouTube. Today I'll be showing you 1 hour of spiritual warriors on my Ironman account for money making. So basically the spiritual warriors are located in the God Wars dungeon. They're more specifically located in the Zamorak encampment. The reason I choose that is because there's a clustered space and the warriors are more common there. It also only requires 1 god protection. So to get to God Wars dungeon, you want to use your Trollheim teleport, then go north from the mountain. This requires the quest called Edgar's Ruse complete. Then the Zamorak encampment is just north of the God Wars dungeon entrance. It requires level 70 HP to enter, and it also requires 68 Slayer for damaging the spiritual warriors. For my recommended stats, I do suggest you have 65 magic so you can access lunar equipment. Then I also suggest you have 55 defense, so that way you can use the rejuvenate ability. For my equipment setup, I have a blisterwood staff. You can use a Zamorak god staff instead if you don't have access. Then I have the full lunar set, and you can replace this with ghost hunter set if you have that, but I don't have the set anyways. Then I have Zamorak god cape, and this is going to be my Zamorak protection for the God Wars dungeon. You want to make sure you have at least 1 piece of Zamorak item, so that way you don't get aggressively attacked by everyone. Then I have enhanced salve amulet, and nowadays it actually works against spiritual monsters, so this provides me 20% more damage and accuracy against them. Then I have the ring of wealth, and I'm not sure if it helps with the drops, but I just wore it anyways. For my inventory setup, I brought 1 super restore, so that way I can restore the stats from entering the God Wars dungeon entrance, as the ice damage does take down your stats a little bit. As for food, it's pretty optional, but this is actually pretty doable without food anyways, as warriors do drop sharks pretty commonly. Then I bring a shield switch, and you want to do that sometimes because rejuvenate can heal quite a bit when you have no food but low HP. Then I have the ring of kinship, and that can be used as a bank emergency teleport. I have the legendary pet with scavenge, although you don't need this, but it kind of helps because when it auto loots it for you, you don't actually have to run there. But even then, the spiritual warriors are quite close, so you don't have to move a lot. Then I brought alch runes, and that is the most important thing to bring here, because this is the key to making money. Then finally, I bring air runes, and that is for using the spell called Air Wave. For my action bar, I have Sonic Wave, Combust, Impact, and Rack. I suggest you avoid using Dragon Breath or Chain, because AoE abilities can be hazardous. You don't want other monsters to aggro you, and it's especially worse if you get spiritual mages accidentally attacking you. So for the thresholds, I'm using Asphyxiate, Wild Magic, and Deep Impact. There aren't any ultimate abilities to use, but when you're at low HP, just use Rejuvenate by switching to a shield. So here's a strategy. First of all, I'm not using any prayers. So what you want to do is stand slightly north and west of the boss entrance room. Then you want to stand east of that wall, so that way you don't have to move a lot. If you aggro the spiritual mages, then you can just hide behind the wall until they stop focusing on you. Again, always avoid using AoE abilities. I actually happened to use Dragon Breath here because I got a little greedy, but yeah, it really caused a lot of monsters to aggro on me unnecessarily, and it happened a couple of times, so yeah, as you can probably see, one of these times I almost died. Now the spiritual warriors don't hit very hard, but the other creatures kind of do, so you can just pretty much kill them pretty fast anyways. And yeah, just use the rejuvenate ability when you're at low HP, so just switch to your shield and activate it. And last but not least, you can alch while you're in combat, so just drag and drop it to your money pouch to alch. Alright, so the drops here, well, they're pretty amazing. First of all, they drop a lot of alchables very often. The rune halberds are fairly uncommon as well, and they alch for 75k each. I got around 10 of these, which is pretty nice. The coin piles are also pretty common as well, and you can get like 4k to 8k of these. They also drop sharks sometimes, so that's why you don't really need food here. You can also expect super attacks, super strengths, and super defense potions, but really they clog up your inventory, so I probably wouldn't even bother looting them if you're an Ironman. It's also amazing for noted coal, mithril, and addy ores. And there's also a rare chance to get ghost hunter pieces, or the ectoplasmator. The War Priest drops sometimes, but I didn't actually get one in this hour, although I actually did get a Ghost Hunter head this hour. As for charms, they don't even drop any charms. So overall in 1 hour, I made 1.8 mil GP worth of alked items. I also got 290k magic XP per hour, in which case I killed 400 spiritual warriors. In comparison to Turoths, this is way better than Turoths. It's at least double the GP per hour, for only something that requires 68 Slayer. And getting here is also a lot easier than Turoths, though it still takes some time for transportation though. In comparison to Gargoyles, well, Gargoyles are actually a lot better than this, but they require 75 Slayer. Even then, it's still not too far anyways. As for Aberrant Spectres, well, they're actually still better profit than Aberrant Spectres, so just forget about Aberrant Spectres. So is this method really worth it? Well, for main accounts, if you're at mid-level, yes, it's kind of worth it. I mean, 2 mil an hour is actually pretty good for main accounts at this level, because for something that requires only 68 Slayer, that's actually pretty nice. And main accounts can probably make at least maybe 2.5 mil an hour, because you have access to notepaper on the super pots, so yeah, you can make a little bit of money, and you also get access to the spring cleaner, which is even better profit than just alching it itself. So yeah, for Ironman, it's like your best mid-level moneymaker for Slayer. Second best being Turoths. Although money isn't always needed, but grinding this out can be quite fun, especially if you're hunting for Ghost Hunter or War Priest pieces. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope it helps. If I missed anything, feel free to ask.